Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we're going to be just doing a little reading vlog. I just kind of filmed what I was reading the past couple of days. This wasn't a full week, so it was definitely a little bit shorter, but I was still able to finish 2 books in this time. I finished reading The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings, and I also started and finished Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. If you want to see my more in-depth thoughts on what I felt about each of these, definitely continue watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hi everybody and happy Wednesday. I'm going to be kind of just showing you guys a realistic what I read in a couple of days. Most of my schoolwork is done for the week. Next week is finals, so I do have kind of to study a little bit, but I want to kind of do just like a what I'm reading. I am finishing up a book and I have a really exciting delivery that's actually, I think, like getting delivered as we speak. I just got home from work, and as I was driving by the mailbox, the mailman was there, so I think my copy of Great Big Beautiful Life is getting delivered, which I am so excited for. But let me tell you where I'm at currently and what I'm reading right now. So I am currently almost done with The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. So I love Magnolia Parks, but I actually did not know that this was coming out until about a couple weeks before it actually released. Didn't see anything about it until I saw someone say something about it, and I was like, no way. And then I read the synopsis and I was really unsure still as to what it was gonna be. Basically, this follows our main character Georgia, and this is a part of the Magnolia verse. You definitely get to see some like hints of people talking about mostly Julian and Daisy and a little bit of Christian. There's a mention of Henry as well. With this, you are following Georgia, who does currently live in London, but her father has just passed away and she's kind of estranged with her family, so she has some mixed feelings about going back home. She is from South Carolina, and so she's from this very religious Pentecostal community where any differing views is just not very well received, and so she was basically like outcasted from her family when she was a teenager. She's going back for basically one of the first times in almost a decade and is reconvening kind of with some of her siblings and her family, and it's just very drama filled. There is a romance between her and her brother's AA sponsor, so it's kind of messy. It is just typical Jessa writing. I haven't read Magnolia Parks in a hot minute, so I really was like had to get used to Jessa's writing again, which is very like metaphor and simile heavy, which personally I really like. Started this on Saturday or Sunday, and I read like 200 pages in a day. I loved it so much. And then I read a little bit more on Sunday, but not too much, and I didn't read for a couple of days. So I basically read some last night. I got to page 300 last night, and I am currently on page 367. So basically the whole plot twist just happened, so I predicted it, but something else is happening now. So there is only around 450 pages, so I do want to finish this afternoon and then start Great Big Beautiful Life tomorrow. So I want to work out now though. That's my main priority. Work out. I want to wash my hair and then sit down and finish this bad boy. I think I will rate this pretty highly. Liking it a lot so far, so we'll see. We'll have to see how it ends, but I have been underlining some stuff, not really too much. I don't want to like underline too many things. This is like, the structure of this book is perfect. First of all, it's kind of like big for a paperback, but I love when the pages are kind of, they're textured, like they're all kind of different sizes. I don't know if you can see. The words are big, it's floppy. This is like my perfect structure of a book. Let me go work out. I'm not listening to any audiobooks right now. I am kind of doing a little bit of hybrid of The Great Alone, which I'm reading with my mom. See you guys back here in a couple hours maybe. Hi guys, it is hours later at this point, but I just finished reading The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings, and I really liked it. I almost cried at the end. I don't know, something about it. I was about to like be emotional. I did explain a little bit earlier what this book follows, and I will say that this is a very dramatic, very not heavy book, but it just talks a lot about things that characters have gone through that can be really difficult and are really difficult. I will say also our main character, Georgia, is like a human lie detector. She studies psychology and something else too. I don't remember what exactly it is, but she basically is able to really look at people's facial expressions and their patterns and basically determine their feelings and their reasoning and kind of like what their body is saying that they aren't. So it was really interesting to read about a main character that can do that. It was very, very interesting. I will say this is pretty insta-lovey. They have known each other for a few weeks and they're in love. But I think Jessa just does it in a good way where I'm just like, you know what? Yeah. So I wouldn't even say like too much about like the romance in this. It was sweet and it was not toxic, unlike Magnolia Park's books, which I was kind of surprised by. I just really enjoyed getting to see everything that these characters were kind of going through and how some of their relationships resolved. Georgia has a very, very problematic relationship with a lot of her family, and some of the people in her family I was just so irritated by. But in the end, I really, really liked the ending. I wasn't sure exactly how it was going to end, but I have finished it and I actually really, really liked the ending. I just really enjoyed this. It was a very compelling story. I was pretty hooked all throughout the book. I think I would give this like a 4.5. I really, really loved it, but there's just something that kept it from being a 5-star. I don't really know exactly what that is. Maybe it'll be rounded up one day, depending on how much I keep thinking about it. Guys, this is it's so beautiful. Like, look at this. Do you see this? This is stunning. It's so beautiful. It has the blue gingham inside cover. And I know there is a quote on the front as well. It says, "It was brief and it was beautiful." I just think that this is so stunning. It is a beautiful, beautiful book. I think I'm going to tab this. I don't want to write in it. It's so perfect. But I think I will consider tabbing this, but I really don't know. Don't even ask me what this is about. The only thing I know is about two writers and they are competing or both wanting to write a kind of biography about this socialite that I think is older now. That's the only thing I know going into this, but I am so excited. I know that this isn't very romance heavy. This is more of like a women's fiction book. I am so excited. I'm freaking out. I will start this tomorrow, but I am so excited. I cannot wait, and I will see you guys probably tomorrow. Bye! Hey guys, happy Thursday. It's Thursday afternoon and I have like a little bit of a reading update. As you know, I finished The Conditions of Will yesterday and I started Great Big Beautiful Life this morning. So this is my progress. I am 105 pages in and I have tabbed a couple things. I know you can't really see it that well. You can see a little bit of what I tabbed. I'll show you like my little guide. This is my little guide. So I have one for Alice, one for Hayden and Alice, and then one for writing and then one for Margaret. So I can kind of give you more of like a little synopsis on what this is about. But it follows our main female character, Alice. She is an aspiring biographer and currently she is just working for this publication, I think. And so one day she basically has the opportunity to potentially write a biography about Margaret. She's like a very wealthy heiress that was very, very popular in her like early age up till like 30, and then she kind of went out of the light. And she meets Hayden, who is also kind of vying for this position to write a biography about Margaret as well. And they're on this like secluded little island off of Georgia, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I really, really like Alice. I think that she is very, very optimistic, and personally I really enjoy reading about a main character like that. I don't know why, I just really like it. She is always looking for the best in people, and I think it's just very refreshing to read about that. Not too much has happened yet so far. There was a People We Meet on Vacation reference. I definitely am really interested to see the dynamic with Margaret and kind of how that plays out and what is going to occur. But I'm hoping I need to write some of an essay, so I don't know if I'll read any more tonight, depending on how quickly I can write my essay. And then I want to get around 200 pages in tomorrow, maybe like 100 to 200, and then hopefully maybe finish the rest of it on Saturday. So somehow the end goal is to finish it on Saturday so that I can read the whole thing in this video. But I just am so in love with the look of this book. I just love this pink. I love the colors. So beautiful. I'm liking my tabs. They kind of match the cover a little bit, but I don't really have too much else to say. I like Alice. I think Hayden can be funny, but they're still he's definitely very grumpy, a little bit reserved. And I'm a little bit curious to see Margaret. So I'm not listening to an audiobook. I was scrolling through Hoopla and the library to try and see if they had any audiobooks, but nothing's really catching my attention right now. I don't really know what I'm in the mood to listen to, so we'll see. But I'm going to write my essay, maybe read a little bit, we'll see. I will see you guys later tonight, tomorrow. Who knows where I will go. I'll be here, but who knows where I'll go. Bye! Hi guys, happy Friday. It is around 4 o'clock on Friday afternoon, and I have some updates on Great Big Beautiful Life. So last night I did end up reading more after I filmed like a status update. I think I got to around page 170 last night, and then today I haven't read that much. I got to page 192, so not the most, but I went grocery shopping, I worked out, I washed my hair, I blow dried my hair, I did laundry, and now all I have to do is read until I have to make dinner. But I have around an hour to 2 hours before I have to make dinner, so we're gonna lock in and we're going to read. I'm on chapter 18, so this is my like tabbing status so far. I am enjoying this quite a bit. I don't know if this will be a 5-star for me, but I'm still really enjoying it. I don't know the vibes yet of like what I'm predicting my rating will be, but I am really enjoying the whole kind of like, not like a mystery aspect, but it definitely is a little bit of uncovering someone's backstory and learning more about an iconic figure. So I'm enjoying that aspect. I think it's really interesting. Other than that, I don't have too much else to say. I'm gonna just lock in. I wanna so my goal, I'm on page 192. My goal for today is to get to page 300, and then tomorrow I can finish it. So that's my current goal. If I can read more than that, amazing. But that is what I'm gonna hold myself to. Wish me luck. So let's lock in. Hi everybody and happy Saturday. I haven't filmed any talking clips so far today, but I have successfully finished Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. And honestly, I don't know how I feel about it, which is very upsetting for me to say. But I finished it this morning and then I took some time, I did my nails, so I kind of wanted to think about it and kind of just reflect on my experience and how it went. So let me start out by saying that this is a very beautifully done cover. I absolutely love the cover. I love all of the details. I just love it. It's so beautiful. But I do think that Emily Henry's writing in this is like her stereotypical, just very, very beautiful prose and funny, but also reflective. Just very well done, in my opinion. I did like some of the quotes in here, and I just overall found it to be very easy to read. It was very, in my opinion, bingeable. I started this on Thursday. It's Saturday and it's already finished. So I don't mind the whole women's fiction aspect of this book. And honestly, I do think I might have liked it a little bit better if it was just that whole women's fiction aspect and not the added addition of romance in it. This book follows, I think I might have already said what it was about, but it does follow Hayden and Alice, and they are both biographers that are kind of competing for the same job. And along the way, you kind of see a romance between them develop. This is definitely more of a women's fiction where you're focusing on Alice and her learning about Margaret, who is this woman that they are both competing to write a biography over. You're focusing a lot on Margaret's story as well. She was this very, very young kind of socialite and is now in like a recluse, and her story was always very heavily followed by the tabloids. And so she's kind of giving her side of it now. And so for lots of it, you are focusing on Margaret's story. And I found it to be pretty interesting. I did like her story. However, basically this book kind of takes place over the span of a month. And so this whole romance takes place over the course of a month. And in my opinion, it just felt a little bit unrealistic, and you don't really get to see a lot of Hayden. You just kind of get these bare minimum facts about him. So I think in that aspect, I just would have maybe appreciated the story a little bit more if it was just that women's fiction aspect where you're focusing on, you know, Alice and her relationship with her mother, and then also her relationship with Margaret and kind of what Margaret is divulging to her. I honestly have no idea what I want to rate this at all. I feel like if this wasn't written by Emily Henry, I might have rated this book pretty differently. And by differently, I mean like maybe the difference of a 3 and a 4. So maybe this is a 4-star, maybe this is like a 3.75. I just don't know. I'm not really sure how to articulate how I feel about it. So I really, really want to love it. And I don't know. I also found the ending to be a little bit predictable in terms of what was revealed. I had an underlying feeling a little bit, but I don't know. I just don't know how I feel about this, which is just irritating to me, but I don't know. I'll have to really think on it, and maybe in my April wrap-up, I will give more conclusive thoughts and at least a conclusive rating on how I feel about this. But that is basically the end of today's video. I was able to finish 2 books in the past. I think I started this on Wednesday, so I was able to finish those 2 books. 2 authors that I love. One was a success and one was a question mark to be determined. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you have read either of these books, let me know what your thoughts were in the comments. I'd love to see what you guys thought. And I will see you guys in next week's video. Bye!